Today, we're diving into a really simple but powerful story. It's all about how to find a little bit of mental peace in our noisy world. It features a restless young man, a very wise teacher, and, believe it or not, a single glass of water.
But first, let me ask you something. Does your mind ever feel like a storm? Just a constant whirlwind of thoughts, worries, and old memories that just will not stop? If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place, because this story is for you.
It's this endless mental tug of war, isn't it? One minute, our brain is dragging us back into the past, making us replay old mistakes or feel sad about things we can't change. The next minute, it's racing off into the future, cooking up all these worst-case scenarios and making us anxious about stuff that probably won't even happen. It is absolutely exhausting.
And that brings us to the hero of our story today. Let's meet Marco, a young man who is living right in the middle of one of those mental storms, 24/7.
And for Marco, this wasn't just, a small problem. This constant chatter in his head made him feel uneasy and tired all the time. He couldn't sleep right. He was always sad about yesterday and worried about tomorrow. It got so bad that he'd actually forgotten what it felt like to just smile. It was literally draining the joy out of his life.
So Marco basically hits a breaking point. He decides he just can't live like this anymore. So he sets off on a quest, a journey to find a solution, any solution, to quiet his mind.
And then he hears a rumor, a little glimmer of hope. People are talking about this wise old man, a former psychologist, who'd packed it all in and was now living this simple, quiet life up in the hills. The word was, he knew how to help people find peace of mind. And Marco thought, okay, this is it. This might just be my answer. So after a really long journey, Marco finally finds him. He walks up to the old man and just pours his heart out. He says, "Grandfather, my mind is so restless. I can't stop thinking. I just want some peace in my heart. Can you please help me?" You can just feel the exhaustion and desperation in his voice. Now, the wise man just smiles this calm, knowing smile. And instead of giving some long, complicated lecture, he gives Marco a task. A really simple, but very specific task. And this, my friends, is where it gets really interesting. He takes a glass and fills it with water, all the way to the brim. I mean, so full that the tiniest little shake would make it spill. He hands it to Marco and says, "Walk from here to the edge of the village and then come all the way back. But here's the rule. You must not spill a single drop of water." Marco was determined. He took that challenge seriously. He held the glass with both hands, his eyes were just glued to the surface of the water, and he started walking. Super slowly, one careful step at a time, completely tuning out everything else around him. And you have to imagine, this was a busy village path. It was not a quiet walk in the park. There were people running around, shopkeepers yelling out to customers, kids were playing and shouting, dogs were barking, the usual chaos. But Marco, he was so locked in, so focused on that glass, that he didn't notice any of it. His focus was total. So Marco gets back to the wise man. Success. He hasn't spilled a single drop. He's probably feeling pretty proud of himself. But the wise man's real lesson was just about to begin. The wise man doesn't say good job or anything like that. Instead, he just looks at him and asks this really simple question. Did you see the children playing on the side of the road? Did you hear the dogs barking? And Marco, he's a little surprised by the question. And he replies, "No, I didn't see or hear a thing. I was only focusing on the glass." And right there, in that one simple sentence, that's the whole secret. See, here's the brilliant part. By focusing every ounce of his attention on that one single task, carrying the water, Marco had accidentally found what he was looking for. He had entered the present moment. His mind was so completely occupied with the now that there was literally no room left for his usual worries or sad memories. The wise man then explained the huge truth that Marco had just experienced for himself. He told him, "Peace is not something we find outside." And then he added, "Peace is already inside us. We just have to learn how to access it. And the way we do that is by anchoring ourselves completely in what's happening right here, right now." Okay, so it's a beautiful story, right? But what does it actually mean for us in our daily lives? Well, this is where the parable turns into a really practical tool. That glass of water, it's just a metaphor. It represents any single point of focus that we can use to pull our wandering mind into the here and now. And that's what silences all that mental chatter.
So the real question this story is asking all of us is this: what is your glass of water? What's that one thing you can give your full, undivided attention to, even for just a minute or two, to quiet that storm in your head? And the great news is it doesn't have to be some huge, complicated thing. It can be incredibly simple. It could be just noticing the physical sensation of your breath going in and out, or really, truly tasting your morning coffee instead of just gulping it down. Maybe it's putting on one song and just listening. It could even be as simple as feeling your feet flat on the floor. Anything that brings your full attention right here, right now. So the big takeaway here is that peace isn't some destination you have to struggle to get to. It's a state of mind that you can access. It's already inside you. The only real question is, what are you going to use for your glass of water? Where will you choose to place your focus today to find it?